providing financial straight talk for those working and enjoying life after work. This is America's financial headquarters.
And Marilyn left us a question on the 24/7 hotline number at 888-888-9572. Let's listen to that and jump right in.
Hey guys, I got a question for you. My husband and I have heard about different strategies to get more out of Social Security. I haven't worked enough, so I would only get his benefits. We're both 65. Any advice that you can offer us on when to take Social Security would be really helpful.
Marilyn, that is a great question, and one that we get hit with all the time. The Social Security concepts are very tricky to understand. And Mike, I think what we should do before we actually answer Marilyn's question, and I understand that Marilyn is calling from Bay City, Michigan, is to kind of identify kind of a higher level challenge I think most people face when looking at their Social Security options, and that is it's hard for them to find a place where they can get good, solid, qualified advice, because unfortunately the way the rules work at the Social Security Administration, they can answer questions, but they're not really allowed to give out advice. So it leaves these folks with a difficult set of circumstances of, well, how do I know what's best for me and what options are available and how can I coordinate my benefits with spouse's benefits, and it gets very complex and they're struggling with where to go.
And a big part of the challenge is just knowing what question to ask, and many financial advisors don't know any of those answers either. They haven't studied Social Security the way we encourage the HQ Network advisor to do so. So it leaves you in kind of a quandary because there are complex decisions to be had, and there are just countless different ways that you can make those decisions.
That's right, and the Social Security is key because we've talked in the past about kind of a three-legged stool, and Social Security benefits are certainly one of the legs of retirement income that most retirees need to deal with, along with pensions and personal savings and investments. So, Mike, what I thought we could do with Marilyn is to
the bigger discussion is about income.
Correct. That is key. I thought what we do is help Marilyn. We'll walk through a case study for her because we don't exactly know Marilyn's circumstances. She did mention her age, but we're not 100% sure in terms of dollars and cents what they're looking at yet. So what we'll do is we will walk them through a case study, kind of give Marilyn some ideas of what she may wish to consider.
And as we jump into some of that, we're just discussing some answers to a question from Marilyn in Bay City, and Marilyn very well might be well served by attending the November 13th Financial Advisor Network event that is taking place there, and it will be covering a bunch of the details about Social Security. And Brent, as you were starting to say, there are some very difficult decisions you have to be able to make, and so the best thing we can probably do for Marilyn is give her an example of what that looks like, and then give her an opportunity to visit with that network advisor at that upcoming event on November 13th in Bay City, Michigan.
So Marilyn, how about we do this? We'll walk you through this case study. It might give you at least one idea or strategy to consider, and there certainly are many. We have here a husband and a wife who are both age 66, so close, Marilyn, to your age. They are at full retirement age. In this particular scenario, the husband has a primary insurance amount, a calculated amount of $2,000 a month in Social Security benefits that is potential and available to him. What he does in this example, Mike, is he actually files for those benefits, but then immediately suspends those benefits, and he's going to postpone them until he hits age 70.
Now, why would he do that?
Well, in doing so, Mike, what happens is you get what's called delayed retirement credits applied, and it actually will increase your monthly payment for when you do actually trigger it. So in this example...
By how much is it going to do that?
On this example, his $2,000 primary insurance amount would grow to $2,640 a month. So a pretty significant increase of an 8%. It's almost like an 8% interest rate. You got to be careful kind of referring to it as that. But in terms of how people calculate their typical investments, you can consider it that type of a growth.
So if I'm willing to wait, that dollar amount could be going up by 8% per year?
Correct. That is correct.
That's not a bad deal.
Right. So in a lot of instances, simply deferring is one of the more better strategies, if you can. In other words, do you have other supplemental income from other sources to get you through while you're deferring to let that base number grow? And
what are those supplemental sources able to earn?
Correct.
So if this potential income source is essentially increasing it, we'll call it 8% per year, and your other potential sources are not able to increase by 8% per year, then part of the strategy in the overall income planning discussion is where are you going to first draw those income sources from, and where are you going to delay to draw later.
Right. Interestingly, in this case study we're showing Marilyn, is the increase in her husband's scenario is kind of a byproduct by delaying. But what we're really trying to do is help Marilyn get maximization in terms of benefits. So the way this works is by the husband filing and then immediately suspending. Remember, they're age 66. He's going to wait 4 more years. What happens in this scenario is the husband is deemed to be receiving his retirement benefits even though he's actually deferred because he filed them suspended. Therefore, his wife, who has also reached her full retirement age of 66, she can receive a 50% spousal benefit based off of his original benefit base of $2,000 a month. So in this example, husband files, he immediately suspends, waits to age 70. His wife files immediately at age 66. She can start collecting 50% of his base, which in this example is $1,000 a month. Then they can have him wait till age 70. He can trigger his, and he can start receiving the $2,600 a month.
So at this point, if I follow what you're saying, she is in fact taking some money now.
Correct.
He's deferring.
Correct. And his credits are growing, so his payments will be larger, but it does give her access to some of his benefits immediately. So again, Mike, it just illustrates that it's pretty complex. There's lots of things to consider, and it can get very complicated and very confusing. And as we pointed out a minute ago, there's not a lot of places to go for help.
Yeah, most people wouldn't probably think that I should file and then suspend in order to get my 8% trigger rolling, and on top of that, allow my wife to then take that 50%.
Or let alone even know that they can do such a thing as suspend. A lot of people don't even know they can do that. They think it's irreversible. Once they start, they can't change it. So.
Well, you know, like we said a few moments ago, there are just so many different variables in this equation. There are so many different choices to be made when you're facing that Social Security decision that we really, really encourage you to seek out professional assistance. Obviously, we're fond of the Financial HQ Network advisors, but regardless, you need to seek out that assistance.